Okay, cool. So I saw the Force Awakens last night. Pretty fucking awesome, obviously. Sitting here dressed in Wookiee footy pajamas, and let me tell you, they're really, really uncomfortable. So it's so hot in these fucking things. So I'm gonna try to keep this shit quick so I don't die of like my body just succumbing to like just the fucking oven that I'm making for myself and like in this whole costume. But I figured, why the fuck not? I've got Wookiee pajamas. I was gonna wear them to a costume party, but that ended up falling through. So now we're doing it here. Okay, so Force Awakens, right? Very fucking cool. It's real good. There's good and bad though. You know what I mean? There's a few problems that really super bothered me. Well, they didn't really detract from my enjoyment of the movie, but I was just like, I was kind of being nitpicky about shit. You know what I mean? Like throughout the entire thing, because I do that now. Like I got a film degree, so I fucking analyze the shit out of everything and make it not fun for myself. But yeah, man, it was cool. First, the good. I'm gonna talk about the good a little bit. There might be a few subtle spoilers, so if you haven't seen this, I'm not gonna give away anything major, but there might be like a few little ones. So if you haven't seen it and you're like concerned about that kind of thing, you should probably not watch this. Okay. So the new cast, fucking awesome. They're like really good actors. I haven't really seen them in much else up until now. Daisy Ridley particularly. She plays the lady. She plays Rey. Very cool character. John Boyega. It's fucking awesome. John Boyega in the third act with it's like him and Harrison Ford as Han Solo, obviously, and they're like running around in this fucking base, and they got this like banter thing down that's just ridiculously like, it's super fun and like charismatic and like charming. Super cool stuff going on there. Oscar Isaacs, he plays a guy named Poe. Pretty fucking cool, and I'm like, it feels like this movie kind of feels a lot like not only J.J. Abrams is being excited about Star Wars, but he's also been like excited about like the Macross series, like Robotech and shit like that. Because man, Jason Isaacs, that's the dude's name, right? Jason Isaacs. Yeah. He plays like this like fighter pilot guy, and it just completely, for some reason, it reminded me a lot of like Roy Fokker from like Robotech and shit like that. Like his X-wing's even like black and red. He's got like a special sweet paint job on his X-wing, and he's like the fighter pilot. And he's like super, like he's just got this whole like Roy Fokker vibe about him. If you've ever seen Robotech, like that's you know that's cool. That's like my favorite character from that series. But yeah, like that, and like the main bad guy is like huge. He reminds me of like a Zentradi dude. He's like huge and bald and like blue and shit. Looks kind of like fucking what am I thinking? Like Space Voldemort. Awesome. Like yeah, like 20-foot tall Space Voldemort. Is like the main bad guy behind this like whole deal. And it's just some bald headed dude who's like, hey, just bring me so and so, the lady. But yeah, like new cast, fucking awesome. I'm digging the new cast. They definitely went back to the more of the aesthetic of the original series, which is very, very cool. Like how everything's kind of messed up, and like like all the machines just look like super used, and it's just like parts that are like bolted together, and like even like all the spaceships just look like it's just panels and like air conditioning units just like stuck together to fly through space. You know what I mean? So it all looks really fucking cool. Stormtrooper uniforms look awesome, like they do. The whole aesthetic of the New Order, which is like the new bad guys, like they're kind of like sort of the Empire, but not really. They look pretty awesome. They went and they definitely took that space Nazi thing from the original trilogy, and they brought that back, but they kind of did it a little bit more. They kind of did it. They kind of, it feels like they went like a little bit farther with it. And it feels good though. It feels, it doesn't feel like anything like from history, but it just like you can definitely connect it to like Nazi shit, like, because like there's this one part where they're like having this big rally, and like there's people like all set up in like ranks and stuff like that, and there's a guy like screaming in a uniform like the major bad guy, or the second to major bad guy, I guess. I don't know, I can't remember his name, like Sloat, I think. Whatever, it's not important. It's awesome. Yeah, like everything's pretty good. The action sequences very well done. Yeah, CGI blends like really well with the practical stuff that they were doing. Because there are, god damn it, it's hot in this thing. There are a lot of practical effects in this movie, like, and they're kind of blended in with the CG, which looks, and it's like it's pretty seamless. It seems like they only used CG where they had to, instead of like in the prequels where it was just like everywhere. Just every character was not even there, and the animation like on the creatures that are CG is like really good. It's I think that probably has something to do with Disney's animation studios, since they kind of bought the rights and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure some guys from like the Pixar like division like came in and did some stuff for like the character models and everything like that, because just like their faces and everything are like actually like really emotive. Like there's this one like character in it, it's like a tiny little like yellow alien with these crazy cybernetic like eyeglasses that stick to her head, and they're yeah, like her facial features and everything are really really good and like expressive. Like you can tell I think they did motion capture on the actual actor that did the voice, and yeah, it looks good. It looks awesome. Actors are really good. I talked about that. Characters are engaging. Like I like everyone's like little backstories and shit. They're very very cool. Like particularly Boyega. Like his thing was like he's like formerly a stormtrooper, and like I guess in the like the New Order, stormtroopers are all like brainwashed from birth, and there's like a little serial number, and they just run around like being super evil space Nazis, and like that's just kind of how they're brought up. But like something freaked him out, and he just like decides to just bail on it. But like his character is awesome, just because he's just completely full of shit throughout the entire movie, and it's definitely a callback, I think, in tone to like the original trilogy, because that's one of the things that's super charming about like A New Hope. Pretty much all of them, really, up until Jedi, even Jedi kind of, but like A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and kind of like the first part of Jedi. Actually, like the whole trilogy, like nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. It's great. Like I love characters like that. Like nobody, everybody's just. It's kind of like people just kind of fake it until shit happens, and they just kind of like wing stuff, and it feels really good and like adventure-y. You know what I mean? Like everyone's just kind of full of shit. Nobody actually has like any of the skills required to do what they're trying to do. Like nobody's like very competent. They're just kind of, we gotta blow up the evil space station. Okay, well, fuck, let's figure it out on the way. It's that kind of thing, which felt like a lot like the original trilogy. Like particularly, I don't know, like the character of like Han Solo was felt a lot like that. Like he Harrison Ford definitely brings back that whole like bullshit kind of aesthetic, that whole like bullshit artist. Like because that's like everybody considers Han Solo the cool character in the Star Wars mythos. For some reason they consider him like the cool, like confident character, but he's totally not. He's like he's full of shit, and he's like a giant goober, and I think that's why people are like authentically attracted to him. You know what I mean? Because like it's apparent that he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's never trying to let on that he doesn't know what he's doing, but he like obviously doesn't, right? And that's kind of what Boyega's like. His character's name I think is Finn, and it's cool because like it's initials from his serial number. The guy's just like, oh, I'll just fucking call you Fan Man, because having a license plate is not what you do when you're a human. But it's awesome. So characters awesome. Um, all the appearances from the original cast super cool. They were handling it like really well. They kind of like they felt like they figured out how to update their characters and like the way they act, you know, pretty well and like make it logical, like throughout the course of all the shit that was happening between like Jedi and like Force Awakens. Like there's like kind of a large amount of time that happened, and it feels like those people were like doing stuff, and kind of growing as characters and everything, and like the actors who were portraying them actually they had their shit together with it. They were like a little bit different than they were from the original trilogy, but like it was like the same people. It was definitely the same characters. They had the same like reactions to stuff, but you could tell that like they kind of aged them appropriately, almost, if that makes sense. I guess. Yeah. So yeah, everything's good. Everything's cool. New Order's a cool new bad guy for the Star Wars universe. I dig it. There's a little bit of mystery as to who like the giant guy is who's like in charge of it. The Space Voldemort, 20-foot Space Voldemort, or if he's even that tall. I have a feeling, because he's like a hologram. They do the Emperor thing where they, like the first part of it, the first part of like his appearances, he's just like a giant like blue hologram, and it was kind of hard to tell originally. It was kind of like, what the fuck, man? If I got a little worried that like the major bad guy behind like the New Order was gonna be just like a 20-foot tall Space Voldemort. Like if he's a smaller Space Voldemort, I kind of get it, but like, yeah, 20-foot tall might be a little weird for me. But yeah, like, but I'm pretty sure he's like a regular guy, a regular sized guy, and he just projects a giant hologram to freak people out. Like that's what I hope is gonna go on in like subsequent movies. Let's see, what other good shit was there about it? Soundtrack was on point. Definitely Star Wars. All the way. Yeah, man. It was pretty fun. There is, however, some shitty stuff about this movie.